Hey everybody, this is my recap of my Japan trip. The first part is going to be a few videos. There's no way to cover it all in one video and keep anybody interested that long, I don't think. So we're going to start off with the day we left. This is what I see a lot driving in Chicago. And Sears Tower. Here's Elliot walking. We're walking through the airport at O'Hare. Just one of their many long walks they try to make look interesting with artistic ceilings and whatnot. Elliot just looking out the window as we're going to take off. His first time out of country, first time abroad, and here's a good comparison for to compare it to when we fly into Haneda the next day. Just a look at the land. You can see it goes off just all the way to the horizon. You can see it's flat. Now this is something as this is on the back of the seats in the airline. In the airplane, you could bring up the map of where the plane was, and it was pretty accurate. We were flying over Alaska, and Elliot looked out, and he was like, "Hey, are we over Alaska?" I was like, "Yeah." It was just beautiful. Here's just one of the shots I got. I should go to a more detailed shot. So, you know, this is a pretty crazy thing to see, because you got this massive, massive lake wrapping around these mountains, and it was pretty awesome. There were several just rivers and just river systems and everything. It was pretty amazing to see. This is, you know, several hours after we took off. Oh, Elliot sleeping it off, man. He got some sleep. I didn't sleep at all on the plane. Either way, here is our first sight of Haneda, and here we are. This is as we were landing. First sight of Japan. There's me in the airport before we saw anybody, and yeah, Tokyo International Airport, the city, then to Yokohama, Kanagawa, Japan, where we were staying. And just a little map of I do have little maps of for each day, like where we went, and I don't think this is quite an accurate portrayal of the train. But we went to Hotel Metz Mizukamichi, where we stayed, and this is Boji-san, who a lot of you know from the Discord, and he was key in this whole trip working. So thank you so much, Boji-san, and yeah, he was a huge help and just a wonderful person to guide my family. This is just a kind of industrial, very industrial setting as we leave the airport, just what the area looked like. And then on the train it turned into this. Beautiful. Inside. This is just because there's a cowboy hat. Elliot felt like wearing his cowboy hat that day, so I said, "Elliot, look, you're not out of place at all, buddy." And this is right from our hotel. This is an area. It's up above street level, and it connects to our hotel and a couple surrounding stores and shops and stuff. And it was a great place to be, except we wanted to go just kind of wander around. It was well lit all the time, and felt completely safe, and it was just a great location that Poji-san had sourced for us. Here's our first dinner. He took us to a Korean barbecue, had some beers, and here's just a walk, first walk around Mizukamichi.
Burger King.
Seemed like a state of wonder. And all the audio is just stuff that plays all the time.
Soul food. Soul food.
It's Elliot and Amanda. Yeah, next stop. The bottom is kind of where we start off at the Shibuya Station, Yoyogi Park, in Shibuya City, Tokyo. Here's the map, and so we went. Whoops. Here's kind of where we start out, and we went out here to Tower Records, Yoyogi Park, and then into the surprise that Poetry-san had for us for the end of the day, which was pretty wonderful. Oh, first off, here's lunch. What we do every day is Poetry-san would come to our room, knock on the door, and we'd go out and have lunch. Here's just a what do you call it? Supermarket kind of department store, Ibato, and seeing some familiar brands, but it was just a cacophony of noise, kind of like outside was, only worse. And there's just stuff talking to you the whole time. Here we are with the well, I'm gonna forget his name. I want to forget his name. How can I forget his name? Yeah, Hachiko. Okay, so this is... I'm going to go back to it right here. If I remember how to use my name. So right here is a statue of Hachiko, which is a dog that many, many years ago used to always go with his owner to the train station, and one time his owner did not come back, and it was an Akita dog, and the dog was so faithful. Every day he would wait for his owner to come back for like 10 years, which is super sad, but also super kind of charming from the aspect of the dog, just always being faithful. So there's multiple statues of Hachiko around. This one's pretty famous. You can tell their legs are worn, and some people touching it, and they're all waiting in line to get a picture. And the line went back a decent ways, or probably would have waited in line myself. But there's a picture of the actual dog, which is why his ears flop down like that. Oh, he's a good boy. Guy. So here's just a big intersection, man. Just kind of seeing this for the first time. And it's just, people are going to walk around. Tokyo School of Music, Shibuya. You guys may recognize that. As to where Misa and Akane went to school. There's some cool just stuff in the windows, and amps and guitars and things. My first sight of a big old line of food shops, which Hojo-san said was just the touristy part. We went to Tower Records, which was massive. Here's what I bought from Tower Records. Yeah, so I got Stevie Ray Vaughan and Double Trouble Texas Flood. It's just, the Japanese packaging on it, which I thought was cool. One of my all-time favorite albums ever. And Elliot picked out Megadeth and Metallica, the new Megadeth album, 72 Seasons, which I haven't even listened to. And he got the Metallica Black album, which he didn't have yet. I picked out Scandal, 2 Glenn Spanky albums, and an Auto, which I still have yet to listen to. I just don't listen to CDs very much. But I wanted to have them, and I was there. I could have spent a lot more time there, but yeah, look how huge this is. It's like 7 or 8 stories of just different music on every floor. It was pretty crazy. This, I believe, was an Olympic stadium. It was built in the 60s, from what Fuji-san said, and the significance of it is you got these spires here, and those are the main your main structure for holding up everything around it. It's built all around there. The rest of it is all open. So it's a pretty beautiful building. And this must be going through Yoyogi Park. Because, yeah, the scale of everything was just massive. Which is kind of what you might not think it would be with Japan being a small country. But everything was just massive. The parks, buildings, and just some great trees. I love trees. And there are some great trees. A lot of crows around. And just a nice shot of the park, the city in the background. So yeah, right in the middle of a gigantic city, you have this great park. Pretty large. And we didn't quite know where we were going. We were just following Koji-san. He's like, come on, you gotta go this way. So we just kept walking and walking through some cool graffiti and artwork. And yeah, it was raining a little bit. I hadn't got used to using an umbrella all the time yet, like you should do if it's raining. So it was very peaceful, nice and quiet. Rainy, kept it quiet. Just another cool tree. I love just gnarly, knotty trees like that. Just don't have them around here. Yeah, I think the Koji-san's a little surprised that I would stop so much and take pictures of just trees and stuff, but beautiful. It's information I was going to try and translate later, but haven't. So here, Meiji Jingu. Emperor Meiji and his council. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of information there. I want to pause it and look at it. Here's our first toy gate. Huge. Just kind of trying to get the wide shots of this place to show how big it was. And what Boji-san has said is that the Emperor, these trees were not originally here. They were all planted a couple of years ago, and they kind of made this whole park area, which is pretty amazing because it was gorgeous. A little bit remind me of home a little bit. I have a river running through my city and my town, and we'll go kayak on it. All those these things are all bamboo strips made in the fence. This is all lotus flowers, which I didn't have a real clear picture of. Which is the first time I'd seen a lotus in person, actually. And this was an iris garden that was made like a river through the woods. It had this irrigation coming in on the sides, and it was just a wonderful thing to see. And they have people tend the gardens during any time of the day. It's not something they try and hide, that people have to maintain things. And it's a thing that it's a necessary thing, and there's no shame in that. There shouldn't be. It's just keeping things up. Here we are. First big structure we get to see. More specifically what we're looking at. But there's a wider shot of these trees, and they're just perfectly domed. So the Meiji Shrine, in Shibuya, Tokyo, is dedicated to the deified spirits of Emperor Meiji and his wife, Empress Shoken. After the emperor's death in 1912, the Japanese passed a resolution to commemorate his role in the Meiji Restoration. An iris garden in an area of Tokyo where the emperor and the empress had been known to visit was chosen as the building's location. Construction began in 1915 under Ito Tsuta, and the shrine was built in the traditional Nagare-zukuri style, using primarily Japanese cypress and copper. The building of the shrine is a national project, mobilizing youth groups and other civic associations throughout Japan to contribute to the funding. It was formally dedicated in November 3rd, 1920, completed in 1921, and its grounds officially finished by 1926. The original building was destroyed during the Tokyo air raids of World War II. The present iteration of the shrine was funded through a public fundraising effort and completed in October 1958. So what we're looking at is an overview of the whole area. Here's a shrine here. So what we walked was, we were walking through here. Yeah. So these were all, the trees were supplied from all over Japan. There's 120,000 trees, 365 different species. So it was a created forest. It wasn't there to begin with. They made it. And I thought it was, worth mentioning a little more detail. Some shots walking around, things I thought were cool looking, due to my small town brain. Oh, here we go. Dinner that night. My first time ever having, straight up snail. Elliot was not too thrilled, but he ate it anyway. He tried it. No, he's not drinking beer. He had juice. Prawn, which was awesome, by the way. And that was just as beautiful as it looked. It tasted fantastic. Spoke Sam and I with our feast. He was nice enough to tell us how we should eat things, in what order, and the proper way to use the ingredients on the table. Oh, there we go. Here's a fish head for you. Which you turn that over, and then you get the meat from outside. From it's like the brain and the cheek of the fish. It was really good. I just did a little quick train spot. It's a cool shot I had with the building disappearing into the mist. And this was a surprise that Symphony Tokyo Bay Cruise would sign set up for us, and as a gift from him to us to let us go around in this. And the only bad thing was I was so freaking tired by that point that I could barely stay awake at all, and I wanted to just sleep. I was still in jet lag, but look at these views. We were able to go outside and look off the top of the ship, and it was amazing. Just massive city at night from the water. It was beautiful. And it was about 2.5 hours. You could see on the map that there's a line going out through the bay. You could see, where we went around. It's quite a ways. And here's just a big panning shot of the cityscape. I've just never seen anything like it. It was amazing. I don't know how many American cities would have fit in that shot, but it's pretty crazy as far as you can see. The next day, so here we are. Station. So we're coming from Mizukumichi. Oh, here we go. Make more sense. So, let's see. Start out Kanagawa. Yeah, I was hoping to know exactly where we went by these names, but it didn't really. There were so many names and sub-names for where we went, I couldn't keep them straight. It's impossible. So here we are. This is a Nissan building. I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't really call it a museum. They had a couple cars there, but it was a beautiful building. And when you first walk in, this is what you see. And then the other side of it was all cut in half. You could see everything in it. There's a hybrid. I just thought it was really interesting to see. Pretty cool. You can see all the motors and all that stuff. Here was a concept car they had. It was all electric and had some pretty cool lighting going on. Yeah, screens for wheels and pretty neat looking car. Here's an R34. The first time I'd seen one in person, actually. And you can see Elliot's getting in the car right there. He was able to sit in it. Right-hand drive, of course. And I think they even let me sit in it. There you go, buddy. He looks good in it. Maybe he'll get one someday. It was neat, man. We both love cars, and I don't think either one of us had seen one in person, so we'll go in there and, we were just looking at it, and if you sit in it, go ahead. So that's cool. Here's a new Fairlady Z concept car became reality. It's pretty sweet. So I don't know. I like the old Z cars, and this one was pretty nice. Here's just an old Datsun 2000 Sports Cube, 1968. Datsun. I don't know if it became Nissan or was bought by Nissan. Exactly what happened, but Nissan used to be Datsun, or they absorbed Datsun. I'm not sure what happened, but pretty nice looking little roadster. Yeah. Let's see. They had a little diorama of, 1/64 scale cars and this is something I used to have things like this when I was a kid. I loved cars. I had hundreds of them in garages and stuff like that to play with. Here we go. On to the more important stuff. Food. Here is a crab that, used his carcass as a dish, but it tasted fantastic. I loved it. Some sashimi. No, this is sushi. The previous thing was sashimi. This is sushi. Sushi's where I got the raw rice, and it looked beautiful, tasted great. And I realized, I was informed that it's more about the texture of what you're eating as opposed to flavors. Not a lot of flavor in the fish itself, but it's the different textures that you kind of appreciate as opposed to the flavors. This was just a cool area where above here it's train track, and instead of having the space just a street or whatever underneath, it was just blocks long of shops underneath. So just smart utilizing the space. Just another cool building. I like architecture too, man. So it's pretty crazy. Here we are. Where are we? This is the Emperor's palace, or the goddamn Prime Minister's. Here's just a nice wide shot, 360. You get an idea how big the grounds are and how it's completely surrounded by city. And how did I do this right? Nice shot. That's not how I did that correctly. Here's a shot of the Prime Minister's actual living quarters, which we couldn't go into. It's just we could see outside the walls and the ancient. It was kind of a moat with the walls there, and it was just kind of just a beautiful area, massive and quiet, and just something to see. It's just such a huge area. Some gardens around the area. Biggest agaves I've ever seen. There's was like an armor station on the corner of the. There's Elliot for scale. So all this stuff, like the walls and structure and everything, was off over this way. And this is just the city over here, and it's just a big. I mean, it looked like a parking lot, just a walking area, and we asked if it was used for anything, and what your son said, not really. Like rarely there's events where it's covered with people, like people gather for whatever, but mainly it's just kept kind of empty. It's just a place to walk. It's hundreds of years old. This I really like because this old ancient wall here, right? And then the city is obviously hundreds of years newer. But if you look at this angle and this angle, they're exactly the friggin' same. I thought that was pretty cool. And the old and the new in the same shot, and I just really thought that was neat. Here you Institute of Sound Arts. This is a friend of ours named Yo, and it's his school. And he asked him into a conference room. We talked a little bit, and he was able to show us around. Showed us a big old analog mixing board that came from the UK, and he was willing to let us sit there and mix some stuff and get a feel for it. Couldn't quite get the program up to do it, but would have been fun. Here is a sound mixing area for stereo sound, 3D sound, surround sound, stuff like that. This was for doing an area for doing voiceover. Something I'd be happy to do. Just another city shot. Here we are. There's Yo and me and Elliot and Porgy Sound. We're getting to the district where all the guitars are. Now this, here's one of the first stores had this a 1961 jazz bass for 3 million yen, and this 54 Stratocaster for 9.35 million yen, which translates to about $66,000. This is a $66,000 guitar. And the interesting thing was, I don't think I showed any custom shop stuff here, but when you go into like Fender custom shop, every guitar in their custom shop, instead of being like a super unique, beautiful guitar, they're all made to look old and worn out like this one. And they cost like $8,000 or something for brand new guitars that look like this old guitar. $66,000. This one's like 22. Crazy. Old ancient Gibson, Les Paul, paint's all cracked. Real vintage stuff, 59. Just a store like heaven. Got my new wheel back on. Which Altaka sent to me. I used it, sir. Gretches all around. D'Angelico at the back. So wonderful place to be. Finally felt comfortable. Here is a shot of some. The first time I got to see some Zemaitis, and they had Miku's picture up on the Flying V, multiple pictures in the background, band-aid signed cards. So it's cool. They're still aware, you know what I mean? And just another shot of pictures there. Cool to see. I did pick one out to play, and it actually sounded really freaking good. I liked it a lot. Pretty versatile sounding guitar. Elliot patiently waiting for his turn to play because he hadn't played guitar for a few days. And then he got to play it. He liked it too. Different kind of guitar, but it was pretty nice. Here's some ESP guitars. There's Yo, and these ESP guitars are pretty crazy. The one there with these are lights, and if you strum it or make noise like clap or whatever, it would light up all the way to the red if you're pushing it. This one, I think had some piezo's in the bridge, so you could. I'm just guessing, but it seems like an acoustic style setup. These are just really, really super custom guitars, and beautifully carved. Really interesting. I didn't play any of those. I didn't have a lot of time to sit and play it. Here's you could pick out the wood if you wanted a custom guitar. You could pick out the wood you wanted to use, which is pretty cool. Just an area where it was just all different kinds of wood you could use. Look at this. It's like it's quilted. That's actually flat. Another section of guitars. EBH guitars, Ibanez, Charbel, ESP. Beautiful. This was Midori's guitar that she built. She went to school for engineering for guitars, and this is one she made while she was in school. And I saw this when I watched a video with Miyako, where she is going through different stores in the same area, which I went to a lot of the same stores. And I saw this in her video. I'm like, I want to find that and see it. And I did. So, go me. Another shot of some nice guitars. That was beautiful. Just a cool used guitar shop even then. I don't think I got much pictures from this. From this one, I found a Fender Stratocaster Jimi Hendrix edition Strat, which I've laughed at before, but now I really want one. It's just got a reverse headstock and a reverse angle on the bridge pickup, and there's one in there that I wanted to get. And it's funny because we go into the stores, and I like cheap guitars and old guitars and stuff, and I would start looking on the ground floor, and Yo would be like, no, these are like entry-level guitars. We want to go upstairs to look at the high-end stuff. I'm like, I wasn't that interested in the high-end custom stuff. I wanted to see like these real guitars, like people actually play. And I found some really cool. There's old Yamahas, old Tokai, Rai Pro, just a lot of cool guitars that I really, really dug. But I didn't buy them. I came real close to buying a Telecaster. Just a cool advertisement on some stairs there. Perspective. Here we all are. Just had to get a great picture, man. Yo, focus on Elliot and me. Elliot found a guitar. This is a Killer brand guitar. It's the same kind of brand that Saki from Nemophila plays. And I wanted to play one of the guitars because we can't get them here or play them anywhere here. And we checked this one out. It's really cool. He loved it. Of course he wanted it. Fuck, dude. Buying one, getting home. Here's a Paul Reed Smith acoustic that he really liked. He played for a good 20 minutes while we looked around other places. Really like that. It sounded really nice. And I guess that's it for those days. So that was three days, and kind of how it was. We'd get up, go to the train station from Kawasaki, Kanagawa, Tokyo, then we pretty much travel through these places here, then get to our kind of destination, what's going on there. And it was like I'm gonna remember where we were exactly. These locations, that's where we were. There's just a lot of different names for different places, and I couldn't get them straight. And we were trying to see a lot, but it's a lot of traveling around. But it was awesome. And the next video is going to be some more city stuff, and then the Asterism. I'm going to cover the Asterism show. So stay tuned for that. Hope you liked this. Thank you very much. It's a little window into what it was like on our days in Japan. And the next video will be coming out whenever I get it done. Which hopefully sooner than later.